Hey everyone, it's May 5th, and that means that if today is your birthday, you share it with Sophie Ursinus, a German serial killer who killed 3 victims at the turn of the 19th century, and that is her right up there. Ursinus was born in 1760 in Prussia to a high-ranking Austrian official, and she went on to marry the much older counselor of the Supreme Court, Theodore Ursinus, when she was just 19. Her marriage was an unhappy one, and she began an affair with a Dutch military officer, and it is speculated that her husband knew and approved of this arrangement. When the Dutchman threatened to leave her for another woman, he suddenly fell ill and died, with his death blamed on tuberculosis in 1797. It was later discovered that Ursinus had bought a large amount of arsenic just before his death. Her husband died in 1800 on the day after his birthday, and then in 1801 her wealthy aunt passed away from a sudden illness, leaving her fortune to Ursinus. It was again discovered that she had purchased a large quantity of arsenic and spent time with her aunt just before she died. In 1803, her servant got sick after a fight with Ursinus. She gave him some soup and plums to help nurse him back to health, but he was suspicious after the soup seemed to make him feel even worse, and took the plums to a chemist who discovered that they contained arsenic. Imagine that, a rich person treating someone who works for them as if they're completely disposable. Good thing that never happens anymore. Ursinus was arrested and the bodies of her husband and aunt were exhumed to test them for arsenic. While chemical tests for her husband were inconclusive, his corpse was contorted and showed visual signs of having been poisoned. Her aunt tested positive for arsenic, and Ursinus was convicted of her murder and one attempted murder for giving poison to her servant. Ursinus spent 30 years in prison, where her wealth made the experience very different than it was for other prisoners. Housed in a suite usually reserved for the warden to stay in, and allowed to retain all her ill-begotten wealth, she had servants who worked for her while confined. She was allowed the privilege of holding parties in fancy dress for her society friends, and was pardoned in 1833, living the high life once again and enjoying the last 3 years of her life, dying in 1836. Later testing, developed by the famed chemist James Marsh, proved that her husband, lover, and aunt were all poisoned with arsenic. If this is your birthday, hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know somebody whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Sophie Ursinus, I say, happy birthday, you bastard. P.S. Eat the rich.